out in third. Your third place cow over your fourth place cow. The third place cow shows us a little nicer turn to the top of the rear udder. She's a little snugger in her attachments. I do prefer the floor of her udder. She's a little leveler than this pretty dairy cow coming out in fourth. Your fourth place cow over your fifth place cow, it was on that balance to her frame and dairiness, cleanliness through her hide. She's a little cleaner up through her head and neck today for me than the cow coming out in fifth. The fifth prize cow over the sixth place cow. I do prefer the way that the fifth place cow travels on those hinds legs. She shows me a little more flex to her hock today than the square made cow coming out in sixth. The sixth place cow over the seventh place cow would be the snugness of attachments today. She's snugger in the way that her fore udder blends into her body wall. Let's give this class a round of applause.
Marking your catalogs with us in the International Red and White Show, there were 23 junior 2-year-olds exhibited. Congratulations again to our class winner, entry 3982, Intense Devour Ginger, exhibited by West Coast Holsteins of Chilliwack, British Columbia. Second in the class to entry 3988, she was also our first place junior. She won the Bred and Owned Award and was named Best Udder, R.V. Smith War Games Red, exhibited by Smith, Gunst, Zimba, and Heinsohn of Watertown, Wisconsin. Third in the class to entry 4001, Garay MD WVG Barbara Red, exhibited by Jonathan and Alicia Lamb of Oakfield, New York. Entry 3991 was fourth, L. Miller Time High Heels in Red, exhibited by Lexa Miller of Black Earth, Wisconsin. Entry 3998 was fifth, Rocky Run Jor Alaska Red, exhibited by Golden Oaks Farm of Wakanda, Illinois. Sixth in the class to entry 4007, Lucky Apex P Queen Red, also exhibited by Golden Oaks Farm of Wakanda, Illinois. Seventh in the class to entry 3986, Ms. Beth Late Night Birdie Red, exhibited by Rocky Top Holsteins and Mitch Hockett of Speedwell, Tennessee. Entry 3995 was eighth, Ms. Analyst She Got It Red, exhibited by Grayson and Mandy Schmidt and Arizona Dairy Company of Delavan, Wisconsin. Ninth in the class to entry 3978, Sauter Home Illustrator Molly, exhibited by Joey Arosa and Hank Van Exel of Lomira, Wisconsin. And 10th in the class and our second junior, she also won the Junior Bred and Owned Award, entry 3980, Caracash RK Late Night Jolene Red, exhibited by Curtis, Evelyn, and Agnes Griffin of Thief River Falls, Minnesota. You can find the complete placings in the class at worlddairyexpo.com. Now entering the ring in the International Red and White Show is our senior 2-year-old cow class.
In our International Guernsey Show, if you're placing in your catalogs, 3022 was 9th and 3rd junior, 3095 was 8th, 3021 was 7th and 2nd junior, Prairie Gem J.C. Penney Ashes, owned by Kyle Polk, Hannah Hurst, Bryn Grew, and Everly Moeller of Cumberland, Wisconsin. In the senior 3-year-old class of our Guernsey Show, entry 3037 is 5th and 2nd junior, junior bred known Pluckers Drone Eva, owned by Skylar Braylon and Sutton Plucker of Chancellor, South Dakota. Entry 3036 is our first junior, Naps GP VG Appy 2, owned by Lauren Weisensell and Bryn Grew of Cumberland, Wisconsin. Entry 3027 is 3rd, Adams Creek Drone Claire, owned by Steve and Debbie Nuttleman of Bangor, Wisconsin. 3029 is 2nd and best bred and owned of the class, Spring Hill Jazzy's June, owned by Hurst, Polk, Headings, Overholt, and Hearn of Big Prairie, Ohio. And entry 3028 is the winner of the class and best udder, Naps Appy Tesla, owned by Emmett Vinoy, Trey Wright, and Katie Osterritter of Eminence, Kentucky. Congratulations, Judge Harbaugh.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a really nice pair of cows to start the class, and it's a close placing. But for Herbie and I today, the first cow's just a little longer and leaner of her head and neck today. A cow that's just a little sharper when you get right on top of the point of withers. And a cow that shows us more height, more bloom right at the top of the rear udder, with more definition of seam down through the bottom of her rear udder today than a beautiful frame cow coming along in second. You really admire the length of frame, the width of chest, the big Springer rib on this cow in second, and she has a beautiful udder in her own right. And it's that advantage she has today in length from nose to tail, the width out through her hooks and pins, the neatness about her tail setting, and the fullness and height at the top of the rear udder that take her over this really balanced cow we have coming along in third. Third over fourth, the advantage she has today is in udder. She carries her udder higher above the hock. She's a little snugger through her udder, but she's especially higher and wider at the top of the rear udder with more definition of seam today than the third calver we have coming along in fourth. You really admire the fourth cow for her dariness, her angularity, a cow with a beautiful front end, but just needs to have a little more quality to her mammary system today to move her up in the class. But she uses that advantage she has today in height at the top of the rear udder, a cow that steps out on a more correct set of feet and legs with a shorter toe and a deeper heel today than the big rib cow coming along in fifth. And then fifth over sixth, it's that advantage she has today in dariness and openness to her rib structure, a cow that's just a little snugger in her udder today than our cow in sixth. The big powerful cow in sixth you really admire for her length of frame and her width throughout, but just needs to be a bit more youthful in her udder to move her up in the class. Congratulations.